Glass Studio. This is Lewis Olson. He'll be your gaffer, or the artist today. My name is Jeremy. I'm going to narrate for you. We've got an exciting show for you, so thanks so much for coming out this beautiful Sunday morning. Right now, Lewis is taking his first gather of hot glass. It's all clear. You see it radiant yellow or orange throughout the process today. Just know that that is simply from the heat of the glass. And right now, he's being very mindful. He is rolling into a little bit of, we've got some spring greens for you today. We're using an opal olive green and a celadon green. So these are concentrated little bits, or what we call frit of color. It's very dense, and he will apply all of his color that he wants for his entire vessel right now while it's on a small amount of glass. The iron that he's using right now is hollow. It's a hollow stainless steel pipe called a blowpipe. This will allow him to put air into it here in a few minutes after he gets his color that he wants on there. Go for some spring greens. Try to get this cold weather out of here. Who's ready for spring? Yeah, me too. So right now, Lewis is using our furnace as a reheating chamber. He's not collecting any glass right now. The piece of equipment on the far right, you'll see him working out of, is our reheating chamber that does not have any glass in it. We only have a certain amount of time that we can work in the glass before we need to reheat it. So right now he's twisting the glass very carefully, trying to give a stripe pattern for what he's going to make. And he's going to take a seat at the gaffer's bench. You can see how soft that glass is. He just went in there and made a little crease. And he made a little marble on top, and I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to use that to help him twist his color up a little bit more. Little stress there, bonked it right off. So this is our reheating chamber. All of our equipment is electric. And you might be able to see on the screen, he steps on the pad here. We've got this really cool, unique feature. This reheating chamber is at about 2200 degrees, and you might wonder, how in the world can a camera be in there? Well, we have a fused piece of silica or quartz that can withstand the temperature, and it protects that camera. It's the same material as the Space Shuttle windshields. So right now, Lewis is blocking the glass. He's using a wooden block, or a cherry wood block. All the wood tools that we use is made of some kind of fruit wood. It has a nice tight granular pattern. It's able to be waterlogged, and it has a higher resistance of burning. Lewis, you're so fast, I just missed the blown part. If you saw him blowing into that, he blew with the puff of his air, of his breath, and capped the bottom. He was able to force his air through the hollow blowpipe and start the beginning of the vase. This is a compressed air. He's simply chilling off the surface of the glass. Anytime we want to make something bigger, we have to cool the skin of it off a little bit, so we've got something to grab onto. So if you wanted to make a giant bubble, this is the process. He would be collecting more glass, chilling it off, going in and collecting more. This is called a gather. So right now he's able to get about 2 or 3 times the amount of glass, turning in one direction, as it's very, very hot. Lewis makes this look really easy. He's got about 30 years of glass blowing under his belt, so I'd like to consider him the maestro. He's very talented and got some grace to his blowing. You can see that glass is really hot. When he goes to turn it the other direction, you can see it kind of flop around. He's got excellent control in there. We have a variety of different tools that we use. And that paddle and the pad right now are graphite that he's using. That pad is pretty cool because that's the closest way that we can get to the glass by touching it. We can actually feel the contour of the shape of our bubble. So he's being very mindful to shape and cool at the same time. Then he's able to blow and expand that glass. See how that just kind of puffs up a little bit? He's not using a whole lot of air. It's very soft. It's another way that you can tell that he's been blowing glass for a while. Is he's working the glass so hot that he only has to blow, and it's about the pressure of blowing bubbles or blowing out a birthday candle. So this set of tools in his hands is called jacks, and he just created the jack line right there. He's going to tighten that little ring down there. That is going to be the transfer for when we open up the bubble. Our glass is made up of 3 different components. We've got silica sand, lime soda, and soda ash. The limestone allows us to melt our glass at a lower temperature. If we had straight sand, our furnace would have to be at about 3,500 degrees. Now we're able to soften the glass a little bit lower at about 2,200 degrees. Okay, excellent. So Lewis has asked me to bring a foot to him. This is a pretty exciting part of the process. I'm going to bring a solid amount of glass on a solid iron rod. And I'm going to collect about a baseball's worth of glass. And this will be a great example of when I stop turning my pipe, how hot the glass really is. Watch this right here. See how it drips down? It's like as hot as honey. So using a taglio, this is a metal paddle, an Italian technique. He's shaping the bottom. There he's fine-tuning that foot a little bit, giving a little bit of an elegant design. It's going to be rocky. Got to have some nice stability to the bottom of it. Okay, excellent. So now this is another fun part of the process. We're going to transfer, or we're going to open the bubble up 180 degrees. I'm making what's called a ponti, pontile. Means to bridge in Italian or point in French. I have a small amount of glass. It's kind of amazing to know that we're going to transfer this piece to this ponti that only holds a little bit of glass. This is also kind of a precarious or delicate part of the process because a lot of things could go wrong, but we're going to make sure that my iron is nice and hot. His vessel is nice and hot so we can transfer successfully. So right now you see our irons lining up at 180 degrees. This nice straight line sure makes it a lot easier to work if you have 180 degree nice even on the bullseye connection. So what I was saying earlier, that punty, that little constraint line right there, he's going to put a little stress on that and a little tap. It's going to smoothly break away because he is that good. Very nice transfer. Good job, Lewis. Got a nice, even, clean cut. That's right. Who's impressed? Let's hear it. All right, excellent.
What do you think? The dark green is a lip wrap?
Okay, sure. All right, very cool. So I like doing this part. We're gonna put a little decorative element on here called lip wrap. I'm gonna take a little bit of glass, I'm gonna roll it in some of that green. And Lewis is going to apply it on. Would you like 2 coats? One roll's good? Okay?
Just sure.
Okay. So I'm going to use the furnace as a reheating chamber. I'm not going to collect any more glass. I'm just going to melt that frit in. While he shapes up the top half, he's keeping the mouth or the lip rather small right now. And this timing is important too. Okay, I'm ready. To make sure my bit's nice and hot for him if it's not. If it's not, it doesn't go on like this. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, very good. To show you another example of how hot this glass is. And stretch this out to the size of about a spaghetti stick. On top. Get a nicer finished look when you do this, when the mouth is still very small. Very nice. Very nice. So you see, sometimes he might slide all the way into the reheating chamber. This is simply to keep the vessel from dropping to under 1,000 degrees. Okay, at 1,000 degrees, the glass is not going to change shape. When he's actually morphing glass, it's at about 1,500 or 1,600 degrees. And these beautiful jacks are called carchofis. They have wooden sticks for the tines, and this gives it kind of a seamless look. If he were to use the metal tines, he'd already be back at the reheating chamber, and he'd be scratching glass too. We have a variety of tools that we use up there. So you see it spinning it a little bit. So just opened a little bit here. Very nice. Just refining it a little bit, making sure the top is flat. The thinner the glass gets, the less working time we have with it. So he has to know exactly what he wants in order to execute it. I think it's beautiful. Should we box it? All right, let's put it away. Yeah, excellent. Very beautiful. That's a great pasta bowl. Okay, so we're just gonna fire polish this a little bit here. Anytime the glass is hot or cold and it breaks off, gonna have a little bit of sharpness there to it. Just gonna safely fire polish it, and we're gonna put it in the annealer so it can safely come down to room temperature It made it. All right, everybody, Lewis Olson, let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you for such a beautiful piece. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope you enjoyed the show. You'll come back and see us some more. Enjoy all the exhibits today and other demonstrations. Again, thank you for coming.